Hello and welcome to Crime Watch Daily Updates. I'm your host, Anna Garcia. We're taking a look back at the shocking case of a millionaire real estate mogul accused of killing his wife, the mother of his three sons. The couple lived in a mansion with an ocean view in Newport Beach, California. Peter Chadwick called 911 and told the operator that their handyman had killed his wife, Quee. Police suspected Peter, the husband, and they charged him with murder after finding the wife in a dumpster. But Peter, who was out on a $1 million bail bond, made a run for it in 2015. He fled to Mexico using aliases and hopping between luxury resorts to working as a busboy. After almost 5 years on the run, Peter Chadwick was apprehended in 2019. Earlier this year, on February 9th of 2022, Peter Chadwick pleaded guilty to second-degree murder for the 2012 death of his wife, and he was sentenced to 15 years to life behind bars. Let's take a look back at the former fugitive and the crime that he couldn't cover up.
A real estate mogul and his wife suddenly vanished from their multi-million-dollar home overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
This was a shock.
The exclusive community is horrified. The couple's three children are distraught, and police are left scratching their heads.
We don't know if anything has taken place, or we believe both of them may have been hurt, and we don't know where they're at.
And then, a bizarre 911 call turns this strange, missing wealthy person's case into an even stranger wealthy person's murder mystery.
They took her.
Who took her?
Juan.
Juan? How do you know Juan?
Newport Beach, one of the most elite enclaves on the Southern California coast. And those lucky to be rich enough to live here can afford to do just about anything they want. But one thing few in Newport ever do is disappear. Like Peter Chadwick and his wife, Quee.
This is the last thing that people that live in this neighborhood ever think that would happen.
Especially to a picture-perfect mom and dad like the Chadwicks, who lived in the same gated community that is home to basketball icon Kobe Bryant.
She was in charge of everything involving the house, and he was in charge of more traditional male kinds of things.
Peter, 48, was a British-born millionaire who helped run his father's real estate empire, while 46-year-old Quee, nicknamed QC, came from a wealthy family in Malaysia. They met in college and had been married 21 years. Quee prided herself on being a stay-at-home mom, devoted to raising their three young sons.
She was just a lovely, giving person. She loved her children, and she would do anything for them.
Family friend Karen Thorpe says Peter was also a loving, hands-on parent.
He seemed utterly devoted to his children.
Which is why other parents were so alarmed, they called police when, one day, neither Peter nor Quee picked up their boys after school.
And it was extremely strange for them. So we initially sent 2 investigators out to the kids to talk to them and ask them if they knew where their parents were. And then we sent patrol officers out to the house.
Cops didn't see any signs of a break-in, and everything initially looked in order when they entered the multi-million-dollar home. But nor was there any sign of the Chadwicks, and something would catch the investigators' attention.
There's a large safe in the office that was open. And this safe had contents of their financial records, passports, all their personal belongings.
They also found other clues in the kitchen that indicated something may have suddenly interrupted Peter and Quee's plans.
2 plates were on the counter. Some food was set out as if somebody was preparing to make a lunch, but it wasn't finished.
Then, cops discovered disturbing evidence in the master bathroom upstairs.
They immediately recognized broken glass surrounding the tub. There's a broken vase, a broken jar that possessed seashells on the backsplash of the tub, and then they saw what they believed to be small amounts of blood splatter near the drain and on the back of the tub. They also located some towels that had what appeared to be blood on them.
The family's SUV was also not in the garage, and cops located security video from the guard shack showing it being driven out of the front gate at 1 p.m. that same day.
It definitely looked like there was a crime that took place in that house, and it definitely looked like a crime of passion, a heat of the moment type of crime, because there was evidence left out. There were mistakes made, and it looked like somebody left in a hasty manner.
Police have no idea who did what and place the Chadwicks on the missing persons database until they suddenly get a surprising break in the case.
They have her body. They said they're going to cut her up.
Who has her body?
Juan and Choo.
The day after Peter and Quee Chadwick mysteriously vanished from their multi-million-dollar home on the California coast, there's a surprising break in the case.
She's dead. They killed her yesterday.
A bizarre 911 call to police 100 miles away in San Diego saying Quee has been murdered.
They took her. They took her.
Who took her?
Juan.
But look who's making the call.
What's your name?
Peter Chadwick.
And Chadwick blames his wife's murder on a house painter named Juan.
Juan, how do you know Juan?
I picked him up to look at some painting work at the house. I brought him to the house.
Chadwick says Juan had later returned, broken in, and killed Quee while he had briefly left his wife alone in the Newport Beach home.
How do you know she's dead?
She drowned.
What?
Her body was stiff even.
He tells the 911 operator Juan then forced him at knife point to help put Quee's body in the back of the family SUV and drive him and the body to San Diego.
Yeah, we've been driving.
Are you in a car?
I have my car right here.
Chadwick says he's calling from a gas station payphone after another man named Chee met up with them in San Diego, moved Quee's body to a pickup truck, and drove off.
They have her body. They said they're going to cut her up.
Who has her body?
Juan and Choo. I think they're going, they might be going to Mexico or somewhere.
Even the 911 operator seems dubious.
Hold on. Let me get my supervisor on the phone.
Then police arrive on the scene while Chadwick is still on the phone with the 911 operator.
They're here.
Okay, go talk to him.
Cops take him in for questioning with detectives who have traveled down from Newport Beach.
Nothing added up to make any sense. The only thing that makes sense is that he killed his wife.
The big question was why?
While police set out to find the answer to that question, the motive, they hold Chadwick on suspicion of murder. And their investigation uncovers a whole other story of the Chadwicks' life together. It was the picture of domestic bliss, respected couple, 3 young, wonderful sons, a beautiful home, the backdrop, the pristine waters of Newport Beach, California. But all that beauty was really just a mask. There was trouble in paradise. Quee Chadwick was not a happy woman.
We just knew and understood the fact that they did not have the money people believed that they had. And she blamed a lot of their financial issues on Peter.
Investigators say the Chadwicks were having frequent arguments and that Quee was even thinking about ending the marriage.
We found out she did talk about divorce a few times, but nothing was finalized and she didn't submit any paperwork to the courts or anything.
And friend Karen Thorpe noticed Quee was increasingly distancing herself from her husband.
The last year or two, Quee was very much more independent than she had been. She lost some weight, she was learning to do her makeup, she was spending more money on herself, on clothing, and she would go on trips with her girlfriends at times, and I don't know if Peter liked that very well.
Police believe Quee may have also suspected Peter was cheating on her. And Orange County DA Tony Rakakis says her suspicions were confirmed in the most shocking way just days before she was murdered.
Peter brought home some sexually transmitted diseases, and so that was creating a tremendous hardship with her.
But police still don't have enough evidence to prove Chadwick killed his wife until Quee's body is found in a dumpster in suburban San Diego. And the coroner determines she had been strangled.
The evidence is really pretty clear.
It includes pictures of Chadwick with scratches on his neck, blood spatter in the couple's bathroom, evidence of a fight there, and that surveillance video of the family SUV leaving their home with no sign of Juan in the car. Now, police formally charge Peter Chadwick with the first-degree murder of his wife.
He strangled her. He took her to San Diego, close to the border, dumped her body in a dumpster, called the police, told a crazy story, one that was not very believable, about having been kidnapped by somebody named Juan.
But believe it or not, DA Rackauckus can't bring Chadwick to trial because after being freed on $1 million bail, Chadwick disappeared nearly a year ago, never to be seen or heard from since.
You know, you never want to have that happen.
Not only was he not a flight risk, but we also took his passports. He was deeply in love with his kids, and we did not think he was going to leave and abandon them as well.
DA Rackauckus' chief of staff, Susan Kang Schroeder, says Chadwick is a cunning fugitive who planned his escape meticulously.
He was able to test the boundaries and resources of law enforcement. For example, buying a ticket and going to an airport and sitting there to see if law enforcement would come up to him and approach him before he could get on a flight.
Now the DA's office can only try to be patient and hope authorities track him down.
We need to bring him to justice, and not just for the victim, but her sons as well.
Sons who have now lost their father as well as their mother.